Hello, everybody. This will be the short episode for Shabbat. And in this short episode, I would like to speak about the Houthi movement in Yemen. And I would like to speak about the Houthi movement in Yemen because yesterday, according to the Houthi report, the United States and the UK attacked 73 times, 73 attacks over the Houthi movement in Yemen, and important targets, including factories to produce missiles that will attack different boats, different ships that will pass through Bab al Mandab Strait. And anyway, I would like to speak in this episode. I would like to talk about who are the Houthi movement and how they became such a big problem and pain in the ass for Israel and for all of Europe and the whole area of the Middle East. So, the Houthi movement, in Yemen, you have basically two different main ethnic groups. The majority, about 60%, are Sunni, like Arab Sunni. And they were in power and they were controlling from the capital, Sana'a, the capital of Yemen. But most of them were living in the area of the south of the country. The other ethnic group was the Zaydis, which is like a version of the Shia Islam. And those people, those Shiite people, they started a social organization that protest against the fact that the Shia people in Yemen were second-class citizens. It started a conflict, and in 2014, during a protest, huge protest that they did in Sana'a, the capital of Yemen, they were able to take over the capital of Yemen, and they declared themselves as the leadership, the official leadership of Yemen. The leadership of Yemen escaped to the south of the country, to the port city of Aden. And from there, they still officially controlling the country, but the main like the center of the center west of the country is controlled by the Houthi movement. And this is an important thing because they are controlling a very important strategic area. But the thing is, this like Shia movement, their main ally is Iran. And because Iran want to control this important strategic point in such an important junction, that so many things pass through this like strait from Europe to the east, to China and to India and back, they definitely want to control this part of the world. And it was easy because the only thing that they would have to do is to support this terror organization. And this Houthi movement that started as a social movement, when they started to get a power and weapon, and they start to get they start to get trained by Iran, they started also to be like radical against Israel, and not only to trying to take over the leadership of the country itself. It wanted also to fight against Israel and fight against the United States. Actually, if you look on the official logo, the official symbol of this movement, you will see that it said like Allahu Akbar, and then that to the United States, that to Israel, curse upon the Jews, and the victory to the Islam. So this organization is a combination of organizations. It's very radical Islamic organization, but also a terror organization that, very radical terror organization that don't care to die and don't care if you bomb them, and have a strong motivation to die and to keep fighting and to keep to do what they want to do in the name of the Islam. So anyway, this Houthi movement that today got a lot of support and missiles from Iran, they sit in Yemen. And from the beginning of the war in Gaza, they attacked more than 31 times different targets, mainly against Israel. And as we know, like what we know from the official reports and what we saw in the news, they have like 4 main weapons that they are using against Israel and against their enemies. They got all 4 of them from Iran. And those four are mainly like long-range missiles. They have like the UAV. They have also another kind of missile that cannot get so far. It's not like something that go out of the atmosphere. Have like a ballistically different, which is another kind of missile that is like more problematic to Israel to deal with. And the fourth weapon that they have, it's like the missiles that they have on their boats or next to the ocean that they can attack a boat and then easily can create a damage that will destroy the ship or the boat that are on the way to Israel or to Europe or to anywhere like in the area. Now, the thing is that this Houthi movement, think of this fact, because they started to be very, very strong and they are Shia, they started to fight against Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is one of the opponents of Iran, as we know, and Saudi Arabia supported the original official Sunni regime in the country. In response, the Houthi movement attacked Aramco together with Iran, and they were able to destroy half of the ability of the oil production of Saudi Arabia. The other thing that they did, for example, that when the president of Israel, Bougie Herzog, was visiting Abu Dhabi, they bombed Abu Dhabi. They definitely like started to get a lot of power because of the long-range missiles that they have. And Saudi Arabia tried to fight against them, which led into huge, according to the UN, like the biggest humanitarian crisis in the world. More than 400,000 people were killed. We know that about like more than 60% of the population of Yemen are, are starving. And it's not only that it created a huge humanitarian crisis, in many ways, Saudi Arabia lose in this war because they couldn't keep doing their business. They had a lot of troubles. And in the end, they made a decision that it's better just to create like a peace agreement with the Houthi movement. And this is the reason why they didn't participate in the coalition with the Americans against the Houthi movement. But anyway, after they did a lot of troubles to everyone in the area of the Red Sea, which you need to understand that for Israel, every Israeli that want to buy Toyota, want to buy like a Japanese car, is getting that from Bab al Mandab straits. This is where it's come to all of Israel. And if a boat need to do all the way around Africa, the meaning of that is everything will cost like at least 40% more. And the other thing that it will hurt very much the economy of Egypt, because Egypt got a lot of taxes from the fact that those boats using the Suez Canal. Now, for Israel, it's obviously will make everything more expensive. The threat on Elat is not that big, but the threat over the boats and over all the prices and the cost of living in Israel is already very high because of the war. Everything will be more expensive, and this is something that Israel cannot tolerate. And also the rest of the world, the rest of Europe couldn't tolerate. And this is the reason why we saw that for the first time, the United States and the UK attacked together, did a massive attack against the Houthi movement. You know that it's remind me something that in the time of George Bush, the father, the coalition with United States, the coalition with the United States attacked Saddam Hussein that intervened Kuwait. So they attacked the Iraqi army to push them out of Kuwait. And later in the time of Bush the son, this almost the same coalition with some differences, but the same concept kicked out Saddam Hussein from the country. And this is what gave the Shia people power over the Sunni people in the whole area of the Middle East. And this is what made Iran be the new superpower in the Islamic world. Maybe this time United States will, get into this business again and will kick out the Ayatollah regime out of Iran, and we'll see another regime in Iran, and we'll see like that Iran will stop to support all of our proxies to fight against Israel and to fight against the West, and we will see that the Middle East hopefully will be more stable. Yeah, that's it. So just like another one thing that I want to mention about the threat of the Houthi, the main people that have the threat from the Houthi movement is Saudi Arabia with 1,300 kilometers of a border. Imagine yourself, how do they feel that they know that the Houthi movement supported by Iran, their main opponent? This is one of the reasons why, despite the fact that they were on a process for normalization in Israel, they still sign up on different agreements with Iran, because as we said, Iran can cause a lot of troubles to Saudi Arabia. But again, as we understand, if we will remove Iran, we will solve a lot of the problems in the Middle East, including the problems with the Houthi, which, by the way, according to some of the reports, Iran kind of started losing control over this terror organization that become like a huge problem to everybody, kind of same as ISIS. And as you know, like in some point, the whole world got united to stop ISIS and to get end to it. Peace to all the people of Israel. Peace to all of you that support and love Israel. We love you all. And Shabbat Shalom to everybody.